All right, we're looking at Chapter 5, Section 6 on the slope-intercept form. So the slope-intercept form is in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. We'll see that again in a minute. So part of the problems are going to look like this, where they give you m and they give you b. And they're going to ask you to write the equation in the form y equals mx plus b. So all you really have to do is write y equals m. Well, m over here, if you look, is 9. So it's 9x instead of mx plus b in this problem is 7. So plus 7. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals 9x plus 7. For the next one, m is 3 and b is 5. So it would be y equals 3x plus 5. If I look here, that is correct. Y equals 3x plus 5. Next one, y equals, well, m is negative 4, so I'm just going to put negative 4x plus 8. There we go. If I look, sure enough, y equals negative 4x plus 8. Last one on this page, y equals mx plus b, y equals 1x plus a negative 3. Now there are two ways to write this last one. Well, a couple ways actually. Y equals 1x plus negative 3 is just fine. If you don't want to write the 1, that's okay. We can have y equals x. And plus a negative is the same as minus. So you could write this y equals 1x plus negative 3. That's fine. But if you want to save yourself some time, you can just write y equals x minus 3. Those two say the same thing. So two options there. If you see something like this, again, y equals mx plus b. If m is 0 and b is 7, we're going to write this as y equals, we can put 0x plus 7. But really, when we say 0x, and I might write that 0 a little bit better. When we say 0x, what we're really saying is that there aren't any x's. So instead of y equals 0x plus 7, we really can just say y equals 7. And vice versa. If you see a problem that says y equals 7, there are 0 x's there. So that's the same as saying y equals 0x plus 7. On the next one here, m is 1/2 and b is 0. So we can always write it as y equals 1/2 x, because that's my mx, plus 0. That's fine, because really we have 0 there. Or you can just write it y equals 1/2 x, because that plus 0 really doesn't mean anything. We usually cut that off. But it can be put in that place though, as y equals 1/2 x plus 0. So those two forms mean the same thing. Now, where this slope and y-intercept stuff takes us is when we want to start graphing an equation, graphing a line. And so if I look at this equation here, y equals negative 5x plus 7, m, remember it was y equals mx plus b. So m in this case is going to be negative 5, and b is going to be 7. That's my m and my b. We can go backwards through this process as well. Once we know the slope m, and once we know the y-intercept 7, I can look at my graph and say the y-intercept is 7, so that's where my graph is going to hit the y-axis. Here's my y-axis, here's my x-axis. So at y equals 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's my y-intercept. Now to make a line, I need 2 points. I have 1 right now. To get that second point, I'm going to use the slope. Now, negative 5 is a whole number. Slopes are typically in the form of a fraction. So negative 5 is really the same as negative 5 over 1. If you ever have a whole number as your slope, it's the same as that number over 1. And this is my rise over my run. Okay? So rise over 1, if I have a rise of negative 5, I'm going to be going down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right here. And I'm going to be going over 1, a run of 1. So there's my second point. And now I can make a line. I've got 2 points. I can make my line for that graph. We'll try another one here. Y equals 10x. Now again, it's y equals mx plus b. So m is right before x. My slope is going to be 10. And we don't have a plus anything. So really that's the same as a plus 0. B is 0 in this case. So even though there wasn't a plus b, there really is a plus 0 there. We can always add 0. So my y-intercept is going to be 0. B is my y-intercept. So that's where my graph is going to touch the y-axis. Again, y is your vertical, x is your horizontal. M is your slope. So I've got a whole number. I want it to be a fraction. I'm going to have it 10 over 1. That's my rise over my run. So I've got a rise of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And a run of 1. So I'm going to go over 1. There is, erase that point. There we go. There are my 2 points. So now I can make a line. Again, I use that y-intercept to make my first point, and I use the slope to find that second point. Try one more here. Y equals 8. So again, I want it to be in the form y equals mx plus b. Looking at y equals 8, there are no x's there. So if I have no x's, that means I really have 0 x's plus 8. So if I want y equals 8 to be in the form y equals mx plus b, that's y equals 0x plus 8. So my m is 0, and my b is 8. Now to graph that, b is my y-intercept, so I'm going to go on my y-axis. I'm going to go up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my y-intercept. If my slope is 0, you've got 2 ways to look at this. If you remember that slope of 0 is always a horizontal line, you can just draw that horizontal line. But if we want, we can certainly make 0 into a fraction. 0 over 1. 0 is a whole number. Well, it's an integer anyways. That's my rise over my run. So my rise of 0, I don't go up or down at all, and I go over 1. There's my second point. I can make a line through those 2 points. It ends up being a slope of 0, straight across horizontal line. So we're using m and b as our slope and intercept to make this graph. You need 2 points to make a line. You can always add more, but you need at least 2. So we use that y-intercept to make the first point. We use the slope in the form of a rise over a run to find that second point. Remember, you're starting at the y-intercept, and then you're going up or down based on the rise over run. Okay? So, good luck, and yeah, there you go.